Joe Zekas. I'm from YoChicago. I'm sitting here at Tom Corbett's kitchen.
Yeah.
And Tom is frequently touted as the #1 home inspector in Chicago, has won a number of awards, and his company is Tomacor.
From my perspective, the housing market has just gone through a 20-year, more or less an explosion of building and construction under conditions where quality control and quality assurance have gone out the window. So we have an abundance of poorly built product that's new. Some of it's even 15 years old. It sits on the marketplace waiting, in some ways, like you know, a Venus Flytrap for the uneducated home buyer. So we've got lots of product on the market, and a lot of it is in poor condition, and condominium unit owners as well as board presidents do not have a lot of money to deal with the remodeling and repairs that really represent nothing else than the poor quality or incomplete work of the developer. The errors, the omissions, and the incomplete work of the developers are being pushed into the laps of the condo boards and unit owners.
That's kind of a serious charge, Tom, so let's see if we can parse that out a little bit. Or is there a particular, you're saying there are a lot of problems in new construction right now?
Yeah.
Is there a particular type of product or area that is largely exempt from that, or is this across the board?
Well, geographically, it's across the board, and it absolutely reflects, from my experience, the new construction boom. So it makes no difference whether it's Rogers Park or Evergreen Park. If there's new building, new construction that's going up, we're going to find, or you, the average consumer walking through a building, will find a tremendous amount of problems.
You seen that in high rises too? Or?
Yeah. Just we did a capital reserve study, projected costs of repairs over a 10-year period on a multi-story green high-rise building in the South Loop last year, where we discovered that this multiple-story unit, well over 10 stories, had never had the window frames caulked into the masonry, so that everyone was getting water and mold. Not everyone, but most people. By the time we got in there, the building had been up for almost a year, about 8-9 months, and all of the best efforts of the condo board and the property manager were unable to unearth the fact that the windows had never been caulked into the masonry until I brought my spotting telescope in and was able to look at the second and third floor windows, and by God found out that all of them were open. And all you needed was a pair of binoculars to see what the problems were.
Let's focus on this a little bit. How many units in the building, round numbers?
250.
Nobody had a home inspector, or nobody spotted it before? Because obviously this probably was before any of the closings, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the background was in terms of the home inspection. We did several of the home inspections in the units and tore them apart. I mean, page after page of written deficiencies. And sometimes I think this happened to us, one of our home inspections was in midstream. It wasn't at the closing point or pre-closing. So in other words, we got into the building a month before the buyer took possession, and the developer said, well, all these problems will be fixed. The buyer then lost her window of attorney approval, right? And she lost her window for home inspection approval because she took the verbal representation of the developer that the problems would be fixed by the time, or certainly within 30 days after she closed. Now, they were never fixed, and she's mad as a hornet. She's unable to sell her place. It still gets wet. They collect water around her front door inside the unit, and she can't sue the developer because she can't afford it. Plus, the developer closed his corporation, like most of them do, the minute that the property is turned over. So, yeah, we had a home inspection, but the home inspection took place at a point where all the work wasn't complete, so the developer mixed the incomplete work with his own errors and omissions and said, we'll fix it all, and he never did, and Chief was disempowered.